Alright, well, I went to my locals yesterday. It was a Yu-Gi-Oh! Day event thing, so we were playing for the new Teller Knight playmat. Um, and I took Fairy Tale. It's a new deck with new support from Blazing Dominion, and it was a lot of fun. I ended up getting third. I went undefeated until round 5, where I lost to the person who got first, but tiebreakers ended up placing me at third, which is whatever. But yeah, the deck is a lot of fun. It's surprisingly good, and I was able to learn a lot from actually playing it. It was my first time actually sitting down and playing with the cards. There are some changes I would make to the list if I decide to keep playing this deck, which I will. But yeah, I'll get into the profile and then I guess my matchups. So for the Fairy Tale stuff, it's a relatively small package. It's 3 Fairy Tale Luna, 2 Magistus, 1 Snow, and 1 Genia. And then for the spells, 2 Ball, 1 Tails, 1 Once Upon, and then the generic cards, Instant Fusion, Metamorphosis. These 2 cards are insane in this deck, simply because that the fusions are level 4, so Metamorphosis really meshes well with the Fairy Tale stuff. But even if you open this plus Flawless, it's still full combo if your opponent has like no interruptions. There are lists that are playing like 2 of the Genia, because this is just a really good extender, and then 3 Ball, which I think I'm going to try, because just opening Ball or Luna is just like it's full combo. So it might just be a good idea to like max out on the consistency of the Fairy Tale stuff, because it's just so insane. Yeah, Fairy Tale stuff is really fun. It's only like probably like a 13 card engine. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13. Yeah, only 13 cards, but still very strong. For the Magistus stuff, 3 Spenta, 1 Crowley, 1 Zorora, 1 Jenny. I opted to cut the Rilliona because it loses more to Droll. And I thought that Zora was kind of like the only monster you needed, because you're already playing like 2 bricks. But Zora isn't really a brick and Rilliona isn't really a brick, so I'll probably end up playing the Rilliona again. And then 3 Vare, Magic Lacrime of Light. This card is really good. Both effects are once per turn, so if you control a Magistus, you can activate it, send a spellcaster or a spell card from deck to grave. And then if you open 2 and your opponent activates something, you can activate the other one to summon a Magistus from deck or hand, which is really nice. This card is insane. Help me play into boards more. For the non-engine, it's quite a lot. I played yesterday. 3 Fua, 3 Ash, 3 Droplet. I played 3 Book of Eclipse, 3 Super Poly, and then triple Vision, Radiant Typhoon. Because you're already playing you have 3 Lacrima, you have Once Upon, so that's 4, 7, 10, 13, 16. It's like 16 quick play spells. It just says draw 2, which really actually came in clutch a couple times. But I might end up just cutting it, because it's kind of whatever. It was just kind of like a throw together thing, because I didn't really know how to play the deck yet. But yeah, that's the main deck. 40 cards for the extra deck. 2 Teller. Teller is a really good card. I should mention that the Fairy Tale spells, the Ball, and the Equip spell, Tails, are really good cards. Ball is an interruption by itself if you have a Fairy Tale on field. If your opponent special summons a monster, you can change its name to Prince of Fairies and negate its effects. It doesn't have to be the monster that your opponent summons, which is really good. And then Tales of the Fairy is a fusion equip spell that you can fusion summon any spellcaster, so it's relatively generic, using monsters from your hand, field, and /or Prince of Fairies that your opponent controls. So that's kind of like the whole thing about the deck, is changing your opponent's monsters to Prince of Fairies, which comes up quite a bit. And one of the ways that it comes up is that Teller of the Fairy Tales says that if it's used with Prince of Fairies, you can blow up your opponent's whole board and burn for 500 for each. And then your opponent activates a card or effect, banish a Fairy Tale from grave, negate, destroy. This is basically just a better Murakumo. It's a really good card. I opted for 2 for whatever reason, but maybe just 1 is necessary, because this card can just help break boards. The Magistus actually has an effect where you pay 500 life points, just change an opponent's monster's name to Prince of Fairies. Doesn't target, nothing, it just says change a name, and it helped me basically out like Dragoon, or I outed a Borland with it. It's just really good. So 2 Teller, you could probably play 1. I don't think that's incorrect, but it's just good. 1 Weaver of the Fairy Tales. Let's see. The Teller also says that your Fairy Tale monsters, including yourself, can be destroyed by battle, which did come up. Weaver says Prince of Fairies that your opponent controls become spellcaster, which didn't come up a lot yesterday, but it could into like Mitsurugi. Weaver says not on summon, but like in Ignition, you can special summon a Fairy Tale from grave or banishment. And then if you summon a Fairy Tale monster that is not Earth, you can target an effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects, and then its name becomes Prince of Fairies. Again, just playing into the whole Fairy Tale shtick. 1 Witcat. Witcat is really good. It makes your light Fairy Tales like towers, which is insanely good. And then in the graveyard, it says you can target a Fairy Tale you control, summon this, and then send the target to the graveyard, which lets you kind of loop Snow. And then you overlay for it, detach up to 2 materials, send up to that number of Fairy Tale cards from deck to grave. It's basically Duo Drive, which is really good. The Magistus stuff, I played 1 Zorua, 1 Invoked Megaba, which I didn't really make all day. It didn't really come up. 1 Chorozo, 1 Ninururu, 2 Artemis, and 1 Crescent Moon, or Crescent Magistus. All this felt fine. The most cuttable are probably the Mekaba and the Ninururu. I didn't really make these, and I really used Ninururu to make a Chorozo. Yeah, those 2 are really the only ones that didn't come up, but everything is still pretty good. Super Poly targets, I played a Ship Theseus and a Mud Dragon. There were multiple times where I wish I had played a Garura over the Theseus, but with learning about yesterday, I could definitely like cut and invoke Mechaba for the third Super Poly target, so I don't really have to drop this in case I play against Cooltoon. And then the rest of the extra deck, one Quartet and one Summon Sorceress. These are just good cards. Bloom revives 2. You can kind of play around a bit of the extra deck summon lock, because it says you revive 2 and then discard, and the monsters that you summon can be used as like Fusion, Link, Synchro, Xyz material. But with like Fairy Tail Luna, you can just bounce it back if you summon it. You can make a Chorozo. There are ways to play around it, but it's just a good card because it sets up more interruption. And then Summon Sorc can help you extend. Like if you go into Magistus stuff, you go into Summon Sorc if you've got like a Jenny in hand or a Crowley. Summon the Crowley to the opponent's board. You can summon Luna, Link into Quartet, summon back to Luna, bounce the Luna and the Crowley back to hand. There's just plays that you can do with this, which is just really cool. Side deck. I kind of just threw together a side deck. I played double Perulia, double Ogre, double Droll for fun. I never really sided in the Ogre. It's just cards I threw in because I needed a side deck. Double Storm, one Duster, one Called By, one Crossout. Crossout never really came up. One Talents, a Judgment, and 2 Warning. There's really not much to say about the side deck, except I would put Talents Called By in the main deck. I'd probably cut the Crossout for something else, and I don't really know if there's any like more board breakers I could play. I could play Crown somewhere, but yeah. That's just a quick deck profile of the Fairy Tail list that I played yesterday. My matchups yesterday were round 1 was Dragon Link as Amina. Round 2 I think was Unchained. 3 was Mitsurugi as Amina. 4 was For Hire. And then 5 was Cooltoon against the guy who got first. Yeah, basically every match I changed my opponent's monster to Prince of Fairies, and I fusion summoned using it and blew up my opponent's board most games. So yeah, pretty cool deck, a lot of fun. I'm going to continue playing this for a little bit. Let me know what you guys think about the deck, and I will see you guys later.